their clothes to us, their used clothes, and even if I couldn't wear the shoes, we put them on the stairway and admire them. Okay.
All right, and then do you want to tell us about? And so this is your mother. Next.
Right here, my mother.
Oh, your is
right
this
here.
your?
Oh, this is my great-grand...
Oh, that's your grandmother.
Kingery, yes.
Oh, okay.
She was precious and very active in her church. And when she was toward the end of her life, she had lost so much weight, and she always insisted that I get up in her bed so she could hug me. And her little fingers were like claws. It was sad.
Oh.
She was the only one we'd ever had, you know, that had cancer.
Yeah. And what was she like? What did she like to do?
She liked everybody and everything, and she helped with everything in the church, and she was a good cook. And see, I was only 5 or 6 when she died, but just from what people have told me.
Oh, okay.
Is she pretty?
Yeah, very pretty. All right, and who's to her?
That's my mother.
Oh, this is your mother right here?
She's the one that wanted to go to college so badly.
Oh, okay.
And she's the one, she was dating Uncle Verlin Lord, and Aunt Hazel was dating my dad. And one time in the middle of the road, I think I've told you this story, they changed girlfriends and they changed buggies. And it's a good thing because my mother was very independent. And she sold Larkin goods, and she worked at the canning factory. And Aunt Hazel never learned to drive. Uncle Verlin bought her groceries, bought her clothes. So I thought that was a good exchange. But they had 5 children, Uncle Verlin and Aunt Hazel, about the age of my mother and father. So we always had a playmate.
Oh, good.
You know where your grandmother lives. If you go to that little T and to the right, that's where Uncle Verlin lived.
Oh, okay.
And one time, excuse me, I didn't get the icing bowl to lick. So I was angry, and I walked all the way down to Aunt Hazel's. I had a dirty dress on, so I put a heavy winter one over it. And I couldn't understand how my mother knew where I was. And she switched me all the way home. Excuse me.
That's funny.
But people were neighborly, you know. And on Sunday, they'd all take whatever they had fixed for dinner, and they'd go to one house and stay. And you know where Stacy lives? They like to come there because they play baseball out in that front field.
Oh, really? So did the girls play too, or?
Well, if we chose this last, they prefer we not. So we, excuse me, we had dolls and things, which was all right.
And so was Pop-Up Frank any good at baseball?
Pop-Up, he and I got in trouble all the time, but Frank was a sweetie. I'll think of some things to tell you about him in a little bit. I thought about him last night when I couldn't sleep.
Oh, okay.
So it'll come to you.
Okay. And who's to the left?
That's
there?
Grandpa Kingery.
Okay.
And he was a farmer, and he's the one that took us into Kokomo when my dad didn't drive. And I stayed with him one summer, a friend and I, because Grandma had died. And we were using the thing to separate milk. And I put the wrong side in, and we had milk all over the kitchen. Excuse me. And see, we all went to West Liberty Christian Church. See, we all belonged there.
Yeah. Okay. And what was he like? I know you said he had a long body and short legs.
He was a farmer, and he was real congenial, and he liked to tell stories.
Oh, really? When would he tell stories? Was it just anywhere?
Whenever we were driving along in the car or something. You know, he would tell about his childhood and all that sort of thing. Okay.
Do you remember what kind of car he had?
Yeah, I have a picture. Frank had it one time. I had his last one was a little Buick Coupe.
Oh, okay.
There's a picture of it somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know where.
Okay.
When they had his, let's see, they didn't have an auction. They just divided things. And Mother got the round table and chairs that Linda has in her kitchen now, the antique. Okay. I don't know, I always liked him.
Yeah.
But I was going to tell you one thing. They didn't used to have lawyers. So my father was a mediator in the community, and I remember all these men, maybe 20 in one room. Somebody had lost sheep with wild dogs. Some had a dispute over drainage. and my dad was a mediator, and they all go home happy. They would work it out. They didn't have lawyers. Does he? Okay.